back at the bivouac. It's nice and dark tonight. I'm having to come over here right next to the door and the light to film this, otherwise you wouldn't be able to see me. They're closed on the weekends. I could stay here late and I can hang out all day, but I'm not sure about that, because just because they're not accepting patients on the weekend doesn't mean there's not employees here doing prep work for when they are accepting patients. And anyway, I need to stay frosty as far as going to sleep early and getting up early, just to keep the routine up. I'm going to be breaking all the rules as far as YouTube goes, and I'm not talking about their guidelines that you can get banned for. I'm not going, none of that. I'm not going to give any medical advice. I'm not going to give any financial advice. I'm not going to, talk about politics. That's other people. But what I'm talking about is the suggestions they have for having a successful channel. Because they suggest, they advise picking a topic and being that guy on that topic. But I can't do that, man, because I'm doing too much different things. I'm doing too many different things. Sometimes I'm going to be just hanging out in town, bivouacking someplace and panhandling and trying to stack paper. Sometimes within the next year, I'm going to do probably a bike trip. Here in a couple more weeks, I'm probably going to ride to Illinois. And so it's going to be a bike tour. And I'm going to be stealth camping. And then I'm going to get to Chicago and I'm going to be hanging around trying to stack paper. I plan on trying to train for a run. And if I feel like I'm getting strong enough, I'll sign up for it. I'm not going to sign up and pay the fee until I know that I'm getting close to doing it. After the first month, I'm going to try to do a 20-miler. I'll do like a 5, and a 10, and I'm just going to be running circles in this parking lot of the shopping center, where every 7 minutes I'm coming by my bike where I can check on it, And when I do a 10-miler, it'll suck, but I'll just have to do like 16 laps of this 3,000 foot loop, to get 10 miles. No, I'll have to do more than that. I'll have to do 18 or something like that. I'll figure it out. But it's a lot. But when I'm going to do the 20 mile, I'm not going to do that. That's just too much, going around in circles, a short circle for 20 miles. I'm not going to do that. I'll go to a motel room. That way I can run in a straight line. 10 miles this way and 10 miles back. And if I could do that and finish it halfway strong, I'll know. I've run a marathon before. I completed a marathon, the Tucson Marathon. I did it in 4 hours, 32 minutes and 25 seconds, which is slow, but I finished it, The 2011 Tucson Marathon, I was in that. And then I DNF'd at the Javelina 100 in the McDowell Mountain Recreation Area outside of Phoenix, Arizona. And I completed 62 miles, which pissed me off, because if I'd have signed up for the 100 kilometers, I wouldn't have been a DNF. I would have finished the 100 kilometers. I actually did more. I got turned around and went the wrong way and had to come back. I did 70 miles in 22 hours, but I got credit for 62 miles in 22 hours. That would have been a belt buckle if I'd signed up for the 100 kilometers. That's what I'm going to do this time. I'm going to sign up for the 100 kilometers at the Rocky Raccoon. I keep talking about it in Bandera and thinking about it, but I've already done all the research for the trails around there, the hotels around there, all the stores around there. Anyway, when I get to Chicago, I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to be panhandling, bivouacking, and training for an ultra. And then I'm going to come back here. I'm going to get in a motel room for about as long as it takes for me to order some stuff on the internet, online, and some new a couple of new hatches for the kayak, a handle, like a knob for the tiller handle, maybe the Sidekick AMA and AKA kit, to where it makes it more stable, and also it increases the amount of payload you can have. It'll up the amount of payload I can have, because I could really use the ability to load about 25 more pounds on the kayak, where I can have more water and food, where I don't have to stop and go into town as much. It'd be nice to be able to just get out there and go for 10 days without having to go back into town. Just go down 10 days solid down the river before I have to go in, because it's tough. You have to leave the kayak there on the side of the river, or try to drag it on a kayak cart up a huge bluff to get into town, because all the cities are on the side of bluffs because they don't want to get flooded. It's tough. So it's kind of scary leaving your $2,000 worth of gear on the side of the boat ramp and for an hour while you're riding your bike, because I have a bike. I've got an old bike I'm going to use, and hopefully I'll only be on the river for like 30 days this time. I'm going to get down to Morgan City. Before I even leave, I'm going to call all the storage spots in Morgan City, the storage facilities. Do you have a storage facility? How much does it cost? Can I send you a money order? And you tell me when you get it, because I'm doing a kayak trip, and I'm going to be there in about 30 days, and I want to have a storage space ready. And I'll pay it up for a year in advance. More than a year. I'll pay it up for a year in advance and go down there and give them a couple more 20s to pay it up for a month after that, where I have a solid year. So then I can come back next year and get it and do a coastal cruise to Key Largo. My point is that I'm going to be doing so many different things that I'll just, whatever I'm doing at the time, under the topic, I'll put, that's the topic. So I'll get views from people that are interested in kayak expeditions or kayaking trips. And I'll get views from people that are interested in people training for running and, doing the marathons. And then I'll be under the heading of bicycle touring and under the heading of homeless panhandlers. And that's that, man. The only thing I can think of around here is just a grim account of this is where I'm back at the spot, panhandling, and almost ready to leave. And I might show my exercise routine, because I do burpees sometimes, and other times I do squats and lunges and push-ups. I might show that, because you got to stay ready when you're just hanging around town to be ready for adventure, or getting jumped by somebody who wants to beat you up or whatever. You stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. And I also do this like yoga thing where it's like meditation and breathing exercises and flexibility training. It's not all contortionist stuff like some of these videos you're going to see, but it's interesting. It's advisable, especially for an old man, because it's perfect for an old man, because it's gentle on the body, but it gets you fully flexible. It's a real comprehensive system that flows naturally. It's good, inclusive as far as everything you need to get really flexible. It is. I'll show that. It takes like 45 minutes, so I'm going to have to do part 1, part 2, part 3, because I don't want the videos to be too long. My point is, they suggest not doing that, and I'm going to do it. I want to be a YouTube personality. I'm going to come at it from all kinds of different directions. How do I put this? I'm going to get famous or get rich trying, I guess.